Okay, this is just a small video that's looking at why we pursue the goal of full employment and some of the material and non-material benefits of pursuing this goal. Be pretty quick. First of all, how will an ageing population impact unemployment in the short and long term? Kind of refers to what we were looking at with the last video. In the short term, an ageing population might actually help to reduce unemployment because there'll be less people looking for work. So it might be easy to find work in the short term, but in the long term, we may become less internationally competitive, and because of higher wages, businesses will be less likely to hire people. So in the long term, it can actually lead to increased unemployment in this ageing population as jobs move offshore, as we become less competitive, and there's essentially less demand for labour in Australia. This is a bit of a recap from the other video. Why we don't want unemployment to be too low. Just be mindful there that the goal of full employment in Australia is all about having zero cyclical unemployment. So if the rate of natural unemployment is 10%, so if all the other four types of unemployment add up to 10%, that would be our goal essentially, would be 10%. We just want to avoid cyclical unemployment. So if there is more natural unemployment in the economy, then our goal of full employment might be even higher. But we don't want it to be too low, and I know I've talked about this before, because it can cause inflation, it can cause because we spend more on goods and services, and because costs of production increase. It can lead to skill shortages and higher capacity utilisation rates, which can cause higher wages. It can lead to rising real unit labour costs for businesses, so they can have higher costs of production. And it can also lead to lower productivity and skill shortages as well can be persistent within the economy, because it can lead to, it's too easy to keep your job, and that can reduce productivity because people feel safe that they're not going to lose their jobs, and therefore essentially they work hard, not as hard. And businesses have less choice in who they employ, so that can lead to reduced productivity as well because they're not getting the right people. And if we have more money and we import more, it can also increase our current account deficit. Some benefits of employment. Some things that it means. Well, it means, first of all, that our resources are being used productively and we're fully utilising our labour resources. So we're not wasting our resources, and we're working essentially to our productive capacity when unemployment's really low. So we're not working within our PPF. Another benefit is the government collects more tax and pays less welfare. So there'll be a lot more income tax, and they will also have less expenditure, which is really important at the moment because we're running such big budget deficits. And we'll talk about the budget in class as well. Other things, benefits of employment: increased self-esteem. Workers that have a job generally will experience higher self-esteem. It can also lead to improved social cohesion as people feel more a part of the labour force and feel a part of society. So that's more for non-material living standards, if you want to make a link to that idea of self-esteem and social cohesion. If you want to link it to non-material living standards as well, you can talk about the fact that because there's more tax, the government has more money for things like education and health and helping the homeless, which can all help to essentially improve living standards as well. It also helps to achieve equity. Okay, equity is all about fairness in the distribution of income. The more people that are on welfare, basically, well, for starters, the government's got less money to pay for each of them because there's too many. And once we start earning a factor income, once we have a job, it helps to boost incomes of workers. So unemployment is the biggest cause of inequity within society. So if we can make it more even and get more people a job, then inequity will fall and we'll become more equitable. Lower crime rates and less helplessness or homelessness, because people who low income earners are generally more likely to be involved in crime, which we've talked about in the past. They're the benefits of employment. Okay, you have to make links to the benefits for the government, links for society in general, links for individuals as well. Problems with high unemployment, so it's kind of like the opposite. Benefits of employment, problems if unemployment's too high, it's kind of just talking about it in the opposite way, but it's both related to why we want people to have jobs. Problems include that it's more of a burden on taxpayers. So the more people that are unemployed, it puts a bigger burden on those that are actually working to pay higher taxes. And if the government doesn't put that burden on taxpayers, it could lead to budget deficits because we're paying more in welfare. A less even distribution of income. Those on welfare generally receive a lower, don't have a factor income. Those on transfer income receive a lot less, so the distribution is less even. A drop in income of average citizens, so people have lower purchasing power. That could hurt material living standards. Reduced efficiency, we're not maximising our resource allocation, we're not working to our productive capacity. This can slow economic growth, and it can also lead to social costs like crime. which we talked about in the last slide, and feelings of helplessness and feelings of stress because we can't get access to employment. Some key facts just to finish with. The average full-time male earns around $1,050 a week. It's actually slightly more now. It's about $1,100. But the average person on welfare only gets about $250 a week. So it's nearly 4 times as much. And that can lead to lower purchasing power, feelings of self-worth. It can hurt our mental health. It can lead to possibly reductions in friendships, feelings of despair, isolation, and failure. Just to finally, just one key concept is this idea of the welfare trap. If our unemployment system is too generous and we give people too many benefits, that can lead to what we call the welfare trap, where people become comfortable on welfare, and therefore that can lead to increased unemployment. So we want to lower welfare benefits so that the unemployed don't feel more comfortable and therefore we're more likely to get a job. Thank you.